Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're doing everything vacuum sealing. If you want to prolong the life of your food, this is a pretty good way to do it. We're going to go over maybe marinating, dry canning, vacuum sealing in the different bags that they have and the different purposes that they use them for. So stay tuned. First thing I want to talk about is I've got a Food Saver vacuum sealer that we bought about, I want to say it was a little over a year ago. And this has a lot of benefits. So if you ever have any problems with your foods getting freezer burnt or anything like that, this will actually take care of that. And we actually ate a meal just last night. It was some pulled pork that I made months ago, and it tasted like it just came out of the smoker. So we'll go over that too. It's the types of bags that you can use. I use all Food Saver bags because this is a Food Saver machine. You don't have to, but it is recommended, and they seem pretty well built. This kind has a strip in it, and this is for all of your, say, raw chicken or hamburger. Whenever you're vacuum sealing it, the juices tend to flow up in here, and this will catch a lot of it so you still get a really nice seal. And then this is another pre-built bag or pre-made bag. It will do any kind of vacuum sealing that you need it to, but the juices, if it's real wet, like a wet type of food, the juices will travel up the bag and into your vacuum sealer, which isn't a huge deal, but it doesn't give as nice of a seal. But it's got a little drip tray right here, so it won't actually hurt the vacuum sealer doing that. And then here is another pretty cool bag. This is reusable. It's a Ziploc. And what you need to do is it's got a little vacuum thing right here. So you would just take your tool and then put this green edge right in the circle. And then you can vacuum seal it from there. With I usually use that for like trail mix and things of that nature. Here's another thing to consider. You can make your own size bags with these. You just slip them in here and feed it through. And how it works is you pull this tab off of here. And then you can just feed it through right into here. And then you'll have to feed the bottom through this little lip right in here. All right. And then you pull it out to your desired length. We'll turn this on. You lock this, and it's sealing right now. And then it's got a slide cutter. You just slide it through, and there's your bag. Now on your first one, I forgot to do this, but on your first one, you will need to seal this bottom portion here because it comes with one end open. And if you do forget, you can just stick it in here in your regular side and act like you're going to vacuum seal it. And then just hit the seal button and it'll seal it. I do recommend holding this down if you're doing that because we got one open side here and it'll lose its vacuum whenever it does that, and it needs to be tight up against there to make that seal. So now we got the bottom of the bag sealed. You can throw whatever you want in here. And then whenever it's time, you stick the top into the drip tray that I showed you earlier. So just in case any juices come out, you can catch them. You hold that down and press either side of this. And it sucks all the air out of there. And now it's got a little flashing red light saying that it's sealing. So let that go. And there you go. So whatever food you put in here, it's got no air in it. You can throw it in the freezer and it will not get freezer burnt. It also prolongs the life of the food too. There are some things that you don't want to put through your vacuum sealer. I've got them right here. I went ahead and printed out the list. But raw mushrooms, garlic, soft cheeses like your blue cheese and ricotta, things like that. And freshly cooked or steamed vegetables. Now, as far as the vegetables go, just let them cool down to room temperature before you vacuum seal them. Because that steam that it's producing will actually mess with your seal. So you don't want that. And there's several things that you need to blanch before you vacuum seal, because certain vegetables will release gases as they start to decompose and rot. And what these things, they'll start producing the gases, and your bag will blow up, and then they'll rot extremely fast. So the blanching will prevent that from happening. And then that's stuff like your broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, radishes, and turnips. But generally, everything else you can throw in the vacuum sealer and it'll prolong the life of it. Just to give an example, your beef, pork, and poultry, I've got a chart here from online that it says the normal shelf life in the freezer would be 6 months, which I think it's more around a year myself, but regardless, it says 2 to 3 years if it's vacuum sealed in a bag. And then I'll link this down below so you guys can take an in-depth look at it. But let's talk about some foods that you'd be vacuum sealing. We'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back. So I've got several things here that we've vacuum sealed. I just went in our freezer and pulled them out. Here's some breakfast sausages, some brats, a chicken breast, hamburger, some pulled pork, and then in the jars we have some rice and some dried soup mix. And all this stuff is good to be vacuum sealed, and especially the pre-made meals. What you would do is you'd stick this in a pot of boiling water if it's pre-made and just heat it up. It takes about 10 minutes. And once you open that bag up, it's like the day that you put it in there. It's actually really good. And then for these, the non-cooked items, you just want to thaw them out and then open the bag. And then you can cook with it. So let's talk a little bit about the jars. This is a process called dry canning. And as you can hear, there was a nice seal on that. So when you do this, you're just going to put your jar lid on. And then I bought this off of Amazon, and it's the Food Saver brand. It's the jar sealer, and it's the wide mouth. They also have a regular mouth, but the wide mouth is pretty much all we use here. So I'll just stick that over top. take my handy dandy accessory tool here, and the bottom comes off of it. So it's got a little spout here. We'll stick the spout on top and then press accessory. And I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but as soon as it stops vacuum sealing, you hear that lid click. Now this is good for dried goods. I would not replace it for regular canning though. And that's because all the websites that I've been to say that like it's not shelf stable for canned foods that need to be heated to that proper temperature to kill the certain bacteria that you get in canning processes. And this doesn't do that. Now it will take the air out, and it'll make all these dried goods that are normally shelf stable for a little while shelf stable for a long time. And no moisture can get in here, so you got that going for you. Here's another thing that I want to talk about, and this is the Marinator. So anytime that we make kebabs or anything on the grill, what we do is we pour all of our marinade in here, and then we'll put our meat and our vegetables and everything in here. Throw the lid on, and it's got a knob on here. It says open, vacuum, and closed for storage. So we'll just turn it to vacuum, repeat the process, turn it to closed, throw it in the fridge for a couple hours. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to let it set all night. So if you've ever just on the whim wanted kebabs, say, or something that you needed to marinate, but you didn't have time to do it before dinner, you only had a few hours, this is perfect. You throw your food in there, and then whenever you open it back up, all the air comes rushing back in, and those juices seem to suck up in that meat and those vegetables. And a couple hours is really like almost like overnight in just a regular bag. So we almost always use this. So another thing that you want to consider is if you're a hunter and you like to freeze your meat in a freezer for a long time, this will make it last much longer. And there's so many things that you can use this for. And I will say this, if you want to freeze like breads and things, this can do that too. What you want to do first is you want to go ahead and freeze it, say overnight, just get it hard, and then you'll come back, throw it in your vacuum seal bag, and then vacuum seal it. That way it keeps its shape, because you don't want it to lose its shape, and this will smash the entire loaf of bread if you don't do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Don't forget, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out this channel. We've got 28 subscribers now, so thank you. That really means a lot to me. Bye-bye.